For thousands of years, people have placed extraordinary faith in a tiny black seed. Ancient healers praised it. Traders carried it across continents. Religious texts elevated its reputation. Today, social media influencers and health websites continue to celebrate it, often calling it one of nature's greatest medicines. Some even claim it can cure nearly every disease imaginable. That raises an important question. Is black seed truly one of the most powerful natural remedies ever discovered? Or has centuries of tradition and modern internet hype transformed a useful medicinal plant into something it was never proven to be? The answer is far more fascinating than either extreme. Black seed, scientifically known as Nigella sativa, is not a newly discovered superfood. It has been part of human history for well over 2,000 years. Archaeologists have even found black seed in the tomb of the Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun, suggesting it was considered valuable enough to accompany a king into the afterlife. From ancient Egypt, its use spread across the Middle East, North Africa, Southern Europe, and parts of Asia. Physicians in the Islamic Golden Age prescribed it for a variety of ailments. Traditional Ayurvedic practitioners also incorporated it into their remedies. Across different cultures, black seed was used to relieve digestive discomfort, support respiratory health, calm skin irritations, and promote general well-being. One saying, often repeated today, has contributed greatly to black seed's legendary status. It describes black seed as a remedy for every disease except death. Whether viewed as a religious teaching or a historical expression of confidence in the plant, this statement has influenced generations of people. Over time, many came to believe that black seed possessed almost limitless healing power. But history and tradition are not the same as scientific proof. Many ancient remedies that were once widely trusted later proved ineffective. Others turned out to have remarkable medicinal value. Aspirin traces its origins to willow bark. The cancer drug paclitaxel came from the Pacific yew tree. Digitalis, used for certain heart conditions, originated from foxglove plants. Nature has surprised scientists many times before. That is exactly why researchers became interested in black seed. Instead of dismissing centuries of traditional use, scientists decided to investigate what was actually inside these tiny seeds. What they found was surprisingly complex. Black seed contains oils, proteins, alkaloids, flavonoids, and numerous plant compounds. Among them, one molecule attracted particular attention. It is called thymoquinone. This natural compound appears to possess antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. In laboratory experiments, it has shown the ability to influence several biological pathways involved in inflammation and oxidative stress. Those findings sparked decades of research. Soon, scientists across the world began studying black seed in laboratories, animal experiments, and eventually in human clinical trials. But this is where one of the biggest misunderstandings begins. Many headlines announce that scientists discovered black seed fights cancer, destroys viruses, or reverses chronic diseases. These headlines often leave out an important detail. Much of that research happened inside laboratory dishes or involved animals. Cells growing in a laboratory do not behave exactly like the human body. Results seen in mice often fail to produce the same outcome in people. What looks exciting during early research frequently disappears during larger clinical trials. This does not mean the research is worthless. It simply means science moves carefully. Each promising discovery must survive years of testing before doctors can confidently recommend it as an effective treatment. So what has human research actually shown? One area receiving considerable attention is inflammation. Inflammation is the body's natural response to injury or infection. It helps us heal. However, when inflammation becomes chronic, it may contribute to conditions such as heart disease, arthritis, obesity, and diabetes. Several human studies suggest that black seed or black seed oil may reduce certain markers associated with inflammation. Researchers believe thymoquinone may help regulate inflammatory responses, although the exact mechanisms continue to be investigated. The results are encouraging. However, the studies have generally involved relatively small groups of participants. Scientists agree that much larger trials are needed before strong conclusions can be drawn. Blood sugar control is another area of interest. Some clinical studies involving people with type 2 diabetes found that adding black seed supplements alongside conventional treatment produced modest improvements in blood glucose measurements. These improvements were not dramatic. They did not eliminate diabetes. Participants still required proper medical care, healthy eating habits, and prescribed medications when appropriate. Black seed appeared to offer possible support rather than a replacement for established treatment. Researchers have also investigated its effects on blood pressure. Some studies reported small reductions in blood pressure after participants consumed black seed oil for several weeks. Again, the changes were generally modest. While these findings are interesting, they are not strong enough to recommend black seed as a substitute for prescribed blood pressure medication. Cholesterol has also attracted scientific attention. Certain clinical trials suggest black seed supplementation may improve some cholesterol measurements by lowering LDL cholesterol and increasing HDL cholesterol in some individuals. The improvements vary between studies, and not every investigation has found the same results. Even so, researchers continue exploring whether black seed could become a useful complement to healthy lifestyle changes. Respiratory health represents another promising field of research. For centuries, traditional medicine used black seed for breathing difficulties. Modern studies have examined whether there is evidence supporting those traditional practices. Some trials involving asthma patients reported improvements in symptoms when black seed was used alongside conventional asthma treatment. Participants experienced better breathing or improved symptom control in certain studies. However, doctors emphasize that no patient should stop prescribed asthma medications in favor of black seed alone. Doing so could be dangerous. Seasonal allergies have also been investigated. Several small studies suggest black seed oil may help reduce symptoms such as nasal congestion, sneezing, and itching in people with allergic rhinitis. Although these findings appear promising, researchers continue calling for larger, higher-quality studies before making broad recommendations. One reason black seed has attracted so much scientific attention is that its possible effects seem to involve multiple systems within the body. Instead of acting through a single mechanism, its compounds appear capable of interacting with inflammation, oxidative stress, immune function, and cellular signaling. That complexity makes black seed scientifically fascinating. It also makes research far more challenging. Human biology is extraordinarily complicated. A substance that influences several pathways may produce different effects depending on age, genetics, diet, existing medical conditions, and medications. This complexity explains why scientists remain cautious, even when early findings appear encouraging. Unfortunately, caution rarely goes viral. The internet rewards certainty. That has created an entirely different story around black seed. Online, it is often promoted as a cure for cancer. Others insist it can eliminate diabetes completely. Some claim it cures viral infections, reverses autoimmune diseases, replaces chemotherapy, or heals virtually every chronic illness. These claims spread rapidly because people naturally hope for simple solutions to difficult health problems. But hope is not evidence. Take cancer as an example. Laboratory studies have shown that thymoquinone can affect certain cancer cells under controlled conditions. Those findings are scientifically interesting. Many natural compounds have demonstrated similar effects in laboratory research. However, destroying isolated cancer cells inside a laboratory dish is very different from treating cancer inside the human body. Cancer is an incredibly complex disease involving billions of cells, the immune system, blood vessels, surrounding tissues, and countless biological interactions. No high-quality clinical evidence currently shows that black seed cures cancer in humans. Researchers continue studying its potential, but there is a significant difference between ongoing research and proven treatment. The same principle applies to viral diseases. Some laboratory experiments suggest black seed compounds may possess antiviral properties under certain conditions. That does not automatically translate into effective treatment for viral illnesses in real patients. Until carefully conducted human studies demonstrate clear benefits, such claims remain unproven. Understanding this difference is one of the most important lessons in modern medicine. Scientific curiosity should never be confused with scientific certainty. Black seed also raises another important question. Is it safe? Many people assume that if something comes from nature, it must be harmless. History tells a different story. Some of the world's deadliest poisons also come directly from plants. Fortunately, black seed appears to have a relatively good safety profile when consumed in typical food amounts. People have incorporated it into cooking for centuries, with few reported problems. Concentrated supplements and oils are different. Some individuals experience stomach discomfort, nausea, bloating, or allergic skin reactions. Because black seed may influence blood sugar and blood pressure, people taking medications for these conditions should speak with a qualified healthcare professional before using concentrated supplements. Combining supplements with prescription medications without proper guidance could potentially increase the risk of unwanted side effects. Pregnant women and individuals preparing for surgery are also commonly advised to discuss supplement use with their healthcare providers. Natural products deserve the same level of respect as conventional medicines. They contain biologically active compounds capable of affecting the human body. Perhaps the greatest lesson from black seed is not about finding a miracle cure. It is about understanding how science works. Ancient traditions often provide valuable clues. Scientists investigate those clues through careful research. Some claims survive rigorous testing. Others do not. Black seed occupies an unusual position between those two worlds. Its remarkable history deserves respect. Its promising scientific findings deserve attention. Its exaggerated health claims deserve skepticism. Research into Nigella sativa continues today because scientists believe there is still much to learn. New studies may strengthen current evidence, reveal additional benefits, identify limitations, or even overturn previous conclusions. That is the nature of science. It constantly questions, tests, and refines what we think we know. So, is black seed the cure for every disease except death? Modern science cannot support that claim. But neither has science dismissed black seed as worthless. Instead, researchers see a plant with genuine biological activity, several promising areas of investigation, and considerable potential that still requires careful study. In a world overflowing with miracle cure headlines and sensational health claims, perhaps the most powerful lesson black seed offers is surprisingly simple. Respect tradition. Value scientific evidence. And remember that the most extraordinary discoveries are rarely as simple as the internet makes them appear. As research continues, scientists are also beginning to ask more detailed questions that were rarely considered in the past. For example, does the form of black seed matter? People consume it in several ways. Some sprinkle the whole seeds onto bread or salads. Others grind the seeds into powder. Many prefer black seed oil because it contains a concentrated amount of its active compounds. Supplements are also widely available in capsules. Each of these forms may deliver different amounts of beneficial compounds. Even 2 bottles of black seed oil may not be identical. Factors such as the variety of the plant, the soil where it was grown, the climate, harvesting methods, and extraction techniques can all influence the final product. This creates a challenge for researchers. If one study uses a high-quality oil rich in thymoquinone and another uses a product with much lower concentrations, their results may not be directly comparable. That is one reason scientific studies sometimes produce conflicting conclusions. Scientists are working towards standardized preparations so future research can be more consistent. Another important question concerns dosage. Many people assume that if a little is good, then more must be better. Science rarely supports that idea. The human body responds differently depending on the amount of a substance consumed. A dose that appears beneficial in one study may produce no effect in another. Excessive amounts may even increase the likelihood of unwanted side effects. This is why researchers spend years trying to determine not only whether a natural product works, but also the safest and most effective dose. At the moment, there is no universal dosage of black seed that has been established for every condition people claim it treats. That uncertainty is another reminder that ongoing research is still needed. Scientists are also investigating whether certain people benefit more than others. Age, genetics, existing medical conditions, diet, and lifestyle all influence how the body responds to nutrients and plant compounds. A supplement that produces modest improvements in one group of participants may show little or no effect in another. This variation is common throughout medicine. Even prescription drugs do not work equally well for everyone. The future of black seed research may involve identifying which individuals are most likely to benefit, and under what circumstances. That approach is known as personalized medicine, and it represents one of the fastest growing areas of medical research. Black seed may eventually become part of that conversation, but more evidence is required before researchers can reach that point. Despite all the excitement surrounding black seed, scientists repeatedly return to the same conclusion. It should be viewed as a potential complement to a healthy lifestyle, not a replacement for one. No seed can compensate for poor nutrition, lack of physical activity, smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, chronic sleep deprivation, or ignoring medical advice. Health is rarely determined by a single food or supplement. Instead, it is the result of countless daily choices made over many years. Black seed may one day prove to be a valuable addition to those choices for certain people. But it cannot erase the importance of balanced eating, regular exercise, stress management, adequate sleep, and evidence-based medical care. Perhaps that is why the story of black seed remains so compelling. It sits at the crossroads of history and modern science. Ancient civilizations valued it without microscopes or clinical trials. Modern researchers investigate it with sophisticated laboratories and advanced technology. Both groups were driven by the same curiosity. Could something so small have such remarkable effects? The answer, at least for now, is both yes and no. Yes, because black seed clearly contains biologically active compounds that deserve serious scientific attention. And no, because the evidence simply does not support the extraordinary claims that it can cure nearly every disease. The truth is less dramatic than the myths, but it is far more interesting. Black seed reminds us that nature is full of remarkable substances waiting to be understood. Some become life-saving medicines. Others provide modest health benefits. Some fail to live up to early expectations. The only reliable way to know the difference is through careful, honest, and repeatable scientific research. So the next time you see a headline claiming that black seed is a miracle cure, remember what the evidence actually says. It is an ancient medicinal plant with a rich history. It contains compounds that scientists continue to study with genuine interest. Some early human studies suggest possible benefits for inflammation, blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, asthma, and allergies. However, much of the evidence remains preliminary, many studies are small, and larger clinical trials are still needed. That may not be as exciting as the promise of a miracle cure, but it is how science moves forward. One careful study at a time, one question at a time, and one tiny black seed that continues to remind us how much there is still to discover about the natural world. If you enjoyed exploring the science behind one of history's most fascinating medicinal plants, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, we dive into the hidden stories behind ancient remedies, medicinal plants, nutrition, and the latest scientific discoveries, separating evidence from myth, so you can make informed decisions about your health. And if there's another ancient remedy you've always wondered about, let us know in the comments. It might be the next story we uncover. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.